The story of Jacob, the struggler who became Israel. Long ago, in the land of Canaan, there lived Isaac and Rebekah, blessed by God with twin sons. Even before the boys were born, they struggled within Rebekah's womb. Troubled, she sought the Lord, and he answered, "Two nations are in your womb, the older will serve the younger." When the time came, Esau was born first, red and hairy, and Jacob followed, grasping Esau's heel, a sign of his determined nature. His name, Jacob, meant he grasps the heel, or he deceives. As they grew, Esau became a skilled hunter, loved by Isaac for the game he provided. Jacob was a quiet man, staying near the tents, favored by Rebekah. One day, Esau returned from the fields famished, and Jacob saw an opportunity. Esau begged for some stew, and Jacob struck a bargain, "Sell me your birthright." Esau, despising his birthright in that moment of hunger, agreed. With that, Jacob secured the privileges of the firstborn, though deceit would follow to seal the blessing. In Isaac's old age, when his eyes had grown dim, he called Esau to hunt and prepare a meal, so he could bless him before he died. But Rebekah overheard and schemed with Jacob to take the blessing. She dressed him in Esau's clothes, covered his hands and neck with goat skins to mimic Esau's hair, and prepared a meal. Jacob approached his father. "Who are you, my son?" Isaac asked. "I am Esau, your firstborn," Jacob lied. Isaac, though suspicious, touched Jacob's hands and smelled his clothes, and finally blessed him, granting him authority and prosperity. When Esau returned and learned what had happened, he cried bitterly and vowed to kill Jacob. Fearing Esau's wrath, Rebekah sent Jacob to her brother Laban in Haran. On the journey, Jacob stopped at Bethel, using a stone as a pillow. That night, he dreamed of a ladder reaching to heaven, with angels ascending and descending, and the Lord stood above it, saying, "I am the Lord. I will give you and your descendants this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I promised." Jacob awoke, awestruck. "Surely the Lord is in this place." He set up the stone as a pillar and vowed that if God protected him, the Lord would be his God. When Jacob arrived in Haran, he met Rachel, Laban's beautiful daughter, at a well and fell in love. He agreed to work 7 years to marry her, but on the wedding night, Laban deceived him, giving him Leah, the elder daughter. Jacob confronted Laban, who explained the custom of marrying the older first, and offered Rachel as well if Jacob worked another 7 years. Jacob's household grew with Leah, Rachel, and their maidservants, and his 12 sons were born: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and later Benjamin. Though Rachel was barren for many years, she finally bore Joseph, Jacob's favored son. After 20 years, Jacob longed to return to Canaan. Secretly, he fled with his family and flocks, but Laban pursued him. God intervened in a dream, warning Laban not to harm Jacob. They made a covenant of peace and parted ways. As Jacob approached home, he feared Esau's revenge. He sent gifts ahead to appease his brother, and divided his camp in case of attack. That night, alone by the river Jabbok, a mysterious man appeared and wrestled with Jacob until daybreak. The man saw Jacob's persistence and touched his hip, dislocating it. Yet Jacob clung on, demanding a blessing. "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Jacob named the place Peniel, saying, "I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The next day, Esau ran to meet Jacob not with anger, but with tears and an embrace. The brothers reconciled, and Jacob settled in Canaan, where he faced further trials and blessings. In his old age, Jacob mourned deeply when he believed Joseph had been killed by wild animals, unaware that his sons had sold Joseph into slavery. Years later, during a famine, Jacob learned Joseph was alive and a ruler in Egypt. With joy, he journeyed to Egypt, where he saw Joseph again and blessed Pharaoh. Before his death, Jacob gathered his sons, prophesied over them, and charged them to bury him with his ancestors. He died in Egypt, but was carried back to Canaan, laid to rest beside Abraham and Isaac in the cave of Machpelah. Thus, Jacob's life marked by struggle, deceit, faith, and transformation became the foundation of the nation of Israel, his name living on in the people descended from him.